What is up, everybody? Welcome back to Sons of Ben the Pod. We are live here from the beautiful Subaru Park
that you can't see.
Here. You cannot see us.
You can't
we
see.
We are live on Twitch as well. So
yes.
If you guys want to watch us on Twitch and interact a little bit, we're trying to get some new segments involved here. Get the people involved. So head over to twitch.tv at /Sons of Ben, and you could watch us there every Tuesday at 7 o'clock usually.
Yes.
Try to get started by, so maybe a little later.
Yeah,
There's some days we run into some more technical difficulties than others. So fun times all around. Adam, how are you doing? I know it was a pretty long weekend for you. You've been traveling all over the place. How are you?
Your boy tired, but I'm really happy to be here. It's very much easier to do a podcast when your team has won 5 games in a row. So look, I'm pumped. Good to see your face. Good to see or not see the people on the Twitch, but hey, I'm happy to be here.
Awesome. So we've got a bunch of news. We got some updates. I think it's going to be a fun one today. We've obviously got some fun games to talk about and exciting times all around. We've got some Sons of Ben news to report on. We've got maybe some new segments involved. We've also got some alumni playing across the pond there, so we'll get into that a little bit as well. So let's kick it off here. Sons of Ben news. We've got tailgate coming up in 2 weeks now. It's going to come up pretty fast before you know it. That's how it always goes for me. It seems so far away, and then all of a sudden it's like 5 days before the tailgate, and it's here. But so next home game coming up is against Chicago, the 13th of August there. So go check that out and get some tailgate tickets for that. It's going to be a fun time. We'll get the DJ back in there. We'll get the vibes going a little bit. It'll be a fun time.
We can all prepare to heckle Casper for not being good at soccer anymore. It's good.
We will also definitely have a large amount of Trulies on hand. Just some early stats. Yeah, I've got a lot of stats today. But I got a lot of stats. One of the stats at the tailgate this past weekend, we went through 372 Trulies. So there is that.
Are they a sponsor? They're a sponsor, right?
By way of Heineken.
Oh, okay.
Believe, yes.
Okay. So then I won't say anything. Anyway, yeah, good.
Right?
Look, man, I'm very happy to see that all of the Sons of Ben were very well lubricated.
Well lubricated.
That's what I'm going to say.
You'll love to hear it. But we'll get into that a little bit later.
That is a lot of Trulies, though.
It is a lot.
Like that's like our tailgates are not more than like a couple hundred people, so like that's a lot of Trulies.
More Trulies per capita than any supporters group.
But I will say, we'll get into this later. When I did actually show up to the game, there was 2 parking spots available in the Sons of Ben lot, which to me was like unheard of. I don't think I've ever seen that scenario.
What time did you end up getting there?
In the 51st minute is when I entered the stadium. It's actually funny. I heard the Ures second goal while running up through the parking lot because I was like, what was it, 48th minute? I was running through the parking lot in the 48th minute, and by the time I got to up the steps to get into the river end, it was already 4-0. I was like, I can go. Actually, my services are required today. I can go now.
Our jobs are done here.
It's like my job is done.
All right. Yeah. So we'll get into that a little bit later. So we got some bus trips coming up. We got DC and New York Red Bull. We talked about that last week. Go get those tickets. I think the DC ticket sales will end relatively soon, so go get on those if you're looking to get those.
DC chilling.
We've got away supporter section tickets still up. We have Dallas sales ending tomorrow, so if you're going to be in Dallas, check that out. They will end on August 3rd. So
real quick,
this might be today, might be tomorrow.
Real quick, if you've never been to DC and you want the supporters tickets, let me tell you about how steep that stadium is. So, like, they put us at the very top of that stadium, and there's no tiers to Audi Field. It's literally just one wall of seats. So, if you're very easily, like, a vertigo person or a person who's scared of heights particularly, I would say maybe come and then see that DC United is not very well attended and get yourself a seat maybe closer to the field level. If not, if you're down with the sickness, if you're ready to, party with us, I'm here for you to come into the section. It's a blast up there, but for first timers, it's a bit much. It is a bit much.
I haven't been there yet. I might try to get there that weekend.
This is what I'm trying to tell you, because like that's what I'm like. If you're trying to bring your child, I'm like, this might not be the stadium.
Yeah, maybe not that one.
It's very awkward. I mean, like I get why. When you go to DC, you'll understand that they didn't have a lot of room to really put that stadium. So to put the seats, they really couldn't go out. They had to go up. But it's a little uncomfortable. Continue, David.
Gotcha.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, just continuing down the list of the travel plans here. We've got Charlotte coming up as well through Philly Sports Trips.
Yes.
Congrats to them. Partnering with the union, which is pretty big deal for them. And shout out to Vince, who's been great, working with us the past couple of years. So shout out to them over there.
That's entrepreneurial spirit right there. That's what that is.
It really is. It's really good to see. School supply run. Thank you to everybody who brought out some school supplies at the last tailgate. There was a ton of them there, so thanks for that. And we're still collecting them. If you weren't able to get them out for that tailgate, we're going to collect them against Chicago as well. So check that out on the 13th. And check out the NAC if you want a list of all the items to be donated there. And last but not least, for the Sons of Ben news here, I think we're going to get back on the email train here. We're gonna we're gonna boot up the old pod email a little bit. We'd love to hear from you guys, as we always do. Feedback, questions, anything you want. It's sobthepod@sonsofben.com. So I don't know. Go leave us a message there.
That's going to be a lot of
whatever you
angry
want.
Stuff and maybe some nice stuff.
I'm here for it. That's
good. That's good.
It's okay. Beer of the Pod, we have one of my favorite 2SP beers, Up and Out from 2SP. It just always hits the spot, whether it's like a summer day or we're just sitting here BSing on the podcast or middle of winter at home. Up and Out is definitely my go-to there.
Did you just do a spot?
I did.
Wow. That was actually very smooth. That was actually like halfway through, I was like, oh my God, I'm in a commercial. That was so bizarre. It's just, the fourth wall was broken. It's like, wait, am I in an ad right now? This is great. No, I am a big fan of the Up and Out myself. And shout out to 2SP, who have always been in the clutch for us at the SOBs, They're
awesome.
Big partner,
they really have been great for us the past few years. And again, if it wasn't for all of our sponsors out there, we would not be able to have the tailgates we're able to have.
No.
So
why did these people like us? I don't know, but I'm here for it.
We'll figure it out. Mm-hmm. All right. Pretty short-lived on the Sons of Ben news this week.
I mean, I didn't go to any of the tailgates, so I have nothing to say. I have no point of reference on how any of these things went, so I can't even be like, yeah, man, that was a really great tailgate. It might have been a disaster. I don't know. Y'all all are alive, so we'll go with that as a starting game.
That's a good starting point. Now let's get into it. We got a little bit of union news and some exciting things here. So we have some more transfer news coming out. Richard Odada, which is going to be a great name for a chance.
Odada. Oh, man.
There's so many options. So many options.
We went from years of having me trying to rhyme sapong with things, and now I'm like, I got a ura, I got a Odada. I got things that there's so many versatilities with this. I'm happy for it. McGlynn is still difficult, though.
We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. Jack. We'll figure it out.
No, we already have a Jack. There's two Jacks. Jack, sell it for less, goals. Is Elliott.
One scoring goals.
One's best 11 center back. So what are we talking about?
Fair. All right. So 21-year-old Kenyan and Serbian. He was playing for Serbian side Red Star Belgrade.
Yes.
Which I will always remember Tottenham playing Red Star in the Champions League. And that away day at that stadium was just insane. They do it different there. They do it a little different. Vanessa, he's coming in. He's a defensive midfielder, maybe a little bit in the back line there. $200,000 fee.
Yeah.
Pretty exciting move. There was a couple of things going around about him. One that caught my eye was a quote from the Kenyan national team head coach last season.
Quotes too here.
We're doing quotes here. We're doing the pod.
Look at this. All right. Well, you can't, but you imagine it.
Yeah, you can't see it. But
you can't see it. Imagine it.
But no, he was just saying how he is one player who he believes will make it to the top leagues in Europe. He was accurate in his passing, but the part that gets me is that he has the hunger that you're looking for in a team. And when I hear that, that was something even when Brujo was coming in, we said about him.
Yeah.
And you see how strong of an impact that can have on the game when you and this was a lot of the noise around Odata seems to be a lot of like he's a very hard worker. And a lot of similarities between him and Brujo. So that's exciting. But you look at it, and obviously every transfer you want to look at it and be like, okay, what is this?
Yeah, why are you here?
Obviously we're gonna have the normal one of it's just depth. He's just gonna be the backup to Brujo and
then
chill.
what is Jesus's?
But exactly. So I mean, I'm gonna speculate a little bit.
Okay.
And say Brujo's been playing so well this season. I wouldn't be surprised if he makes a move at the end of the year.
That is
getting towards the end of his contract there as well. So I mean,
I would call that a bomb, if not the most obvious answer in the known universe. Is like it would have made more sense to me if he was also like a left back too, because I'm like, oh, okay, so they're just getting depth across the board for everyone they're selling. Because like here's the thing, and I thought about this the other day because MLS by far is a buy-sell league in a very interesting kind of way. They buy interesting players and they sell most of their talent if they can help it. So when you have a situation like, the Union are in, you have guys like Elliott, guys like Glesnes, guys like Wagner, guys like Martinez, where you say to yourself, there has to be phone calls. There has to be people asking about these people. Like, there's no way that these guys are just, existing in, like, there's phone calls about the third goalkeeper in every club in MLS these days. What do you mean there isn't? So I'm saying Ernst is a businessman. Mm-hmm. And Ernst there's a thing about, we talked about when Sexy Season left on his loan. And the thing about that to me was just like, Ernst is a businessman. If you ain't going to play, if you're not good enough, Ernst and Jimmy, if you're not good enough, we're moving on. We're getting to the next one. Maybe Jesus is not good enough. But maybe he's still so green they want to still massage him for the future, because I don't believe Jose is here in 2 years. I don't believe Flock's here in 2 years. I don't believe Wagner's here in a year. So this is depth, but like he's 21.
Yeah.
That's not a depth kind of sign. You don't sign 21-year-old Kenyan nationals for depth purposes.
Yep.
You're telling me this guy is going to make an impact at some point. And look, it's $200,000, which once upon a time is a backbreaker in MLS. Now it's like, this is it's a trial, I feel. It's a, if he's good enough, then we will experience, the fruits of that labor. If he's not, then, we spent a couple bucks and we messed up.
Yeah.
But
I think it's either way, it's going to end up being a decent move, even if he does bust. I don't know that you're really worried about 200,000 at this point in the game.
I was looking at the Union roster authentically, and I was just like, I mean, you could improve, but like, what would you do?
Well, and I want to take a look at this team a little later, but I mean,
that's a tease.
Well, we'll talk about that a little later. So
that's a little tease. Continue, Devin.
No, let's get into the game a little bit. We keep mentioning it. 6-0 against the Houston Astros now.
Yes.
The Houston
Banging
Dynamo?
On the trash can.
Or is that not the one yet? Is it Houston Dynamo?
Dynamo, yeah. The Houston Dash is actually the better team in the city, so yes.
No, what a game. What a game. There's so much I want to get into here.
Please.
But before we get into the game,
please talk.
I know the Phoenix were playing down there, and I just want to mention it.
Please, yeah.
How did that go? Did they get the dub?
That was great. Got massive dub.
Awesome.
25-19 victory over the gentlemen from the Canadian capital, the Ottawa Outlaws. Playoff seeding was already secured, so it didn't necessarily mean so much, but it's very nice to be able to sharpen the sword and have your biggest win of the year be on the heels of a playoff appearance that's coming up very shortly. And look, it was, I've been a part of this organization for a year, and I've enjoyed every second of it, and it's been a blast. And I was happy to see that these gentlemen made the playoffs. It's the first time since my senior year of college.
Yes.
So this is cool. This is really cool.
Awesome.
I'm happy for them.
Awesome. And then we had the tailgate during that time there, which is great.
I think it was roughly like the first half of my match was your tailgate. So yeah.
Yeah, it was a great time. Actually, I'm not even sure if you knew this. Philadelphia rapper Chill Moody came by the old
I saw some pics.
tailgate. That was pretty cool. He was there promoting his beer that he brewed along with Flying Fish.
As always, the cool stuff happens when I'm not there. I imagine when I go on my Capo All-Star break coming up, it's just going to be like, oh, yeah, well, the president showed up and Jay Sugarman, pile drive the owner of Red Bulls through a table and, they showered us in gold coins and money. Like, I just feel, it's just going to be the greatest tailgates of all time. So you should probably sign up for them because I'm not going to be there.
Yeah, it was really cool. It was a hazy IPA that he brought along with him, and it was really good. I had one.
Chill Moody,
and it was probably one of the my favorite beers that I had that whole day. So it was really good. And yeah, shout out to them over there. I only got one handed to me. So
okay, so like there's none.
Unless you want me to save the little bit that was in the bottom of the can.
I do not.
I've got that in the car.
That's
several
questions after that. Yeah, it's rude. You should have just put some on ice. We have a fridge.
Yeah. No, it was a great time. Tailgate was great. Thanks for everybody who came out.
It's beautiful.
And then we went into the game, and nobody could have expected what we saw that night.
I mean, now I think we can.
Yeah, now we can.
I believe. It's anything is possible.
This is such a game-changing game,
right?
Game-changing game,
right? The first time's like a fluke, right?
Okay,
like the first.
So you didn't get to see the first half.
No, I didn't. I watched the replay.
Okay.
Yeah.
That first half, in my opinion, was not only the best first half that I've seen from this team ever, but it just reinstates all the things they've been working towards, right? So there's the handball review issue, the VAR that happened
was not
there.
A handball.
In the lead up to that.
Yeah.
The ball from Glesnes was just amazing.
Yeah.
You have the first goal, which is just an insane link-up play with these guys. Yeah. I mean, a long-range ball from McGlynn into Ura. Ura finds Bedoya right in the box, and Bedoya just, threads this pass in to Gazdag.
Yeah.
That was just, everything you could want in that through ball. And then Gazdag with the cutback goal that he had. I mean, that whole play was just talent.
Yeah.
Just on a level that the Union have not had.
Yeah.
And the whole half, Jack McGlynn. So not only are you going to go out and do it with Gazdag and Ura and all the guys you sign, but you're going to come out with Jack McGlynn and let him score his first MLS goal on just an insane free kick.
It was an absolute beauty. And the thing about it is that I find really fascinating about this Union team now is you're dealing with a team that's a true team, right? Mm-hmm. Like a lot of what's happening right now is like you get Bale and you get these guys coming over here and Herrera and all these guys and like Shaqiri up in Chicago and all this, and the quality and the talent is there. And I think a lot of Union fans get upset that the Union are not in on those guys. It's been a long time since was it Marco Fabian, I guess, is the last real notable international player we've had on this team that we didn't grow into that player, so I think fans get frustrated because they see other teams go out and say, we got literally the best player in Wales history, and we just did that the other day. But I believe there is something to be said about a team that has had a chance to grow, and a team that everyone kind of has a dog in them, there's no one on the Union's squad who's complacent with their place in the soccer universe. Maybe outside of Bedoya, but he's 36. So what do you mean? Where he's I'm going back to Europe after this. No, sweetie, this is it. But for the rest of these guys, there's a viable between the ones that we brought back from Europe in terms of Ure and all these other guys. There's a good reason why pretty much every one of the starting 11 of the Philadelphia Union could be playing in Europe.
Yeah. I believe that.
And
I believe that.
It's
you're right.
There's not many. I don't think a lot of other MLS teams have now. Now, granted, they have players who'll be playing in the Premier League and then players who are on other levels. And like when Dallas is like, here's our Jesus Ferreira, give him a year. He's going to be playing for like, Leeds or somebody. But the Union, what they do is they collect really, really great talent that doesn't have enough of an ego to step on each other, and they all play for we all play for the badge. No, they play to win, but they play to win in a way where they all know each other's talents. And like everyone wants a Javinko, right? Like everyone wants a person who just takes over, can score goals when you want. And when we were having all of the ties and draws, that would have been really nice. Just a person you have who can just flat out take over. But I believe the fact that you set a record in terms of how many largest margin of victory in matches in a season already, I think that speaks volumes to the collective. And I think that speaks volumes to the type of individual Ernst has been since he's come in here as a sporting director. He doesn't get enough credit.
Yeah.
And that's like he doesn't nearly get enough credit for transforming the Union into not only a very good team, but arguably one of the premier teams in MLS now.
Yeah, and I want to keep on this conversation, but I want to get through the rest of this game real quick. So before we get off this first half, Ura, when he scored his goal, I don't know if you saw, well, you didn't see it. I don't know if you saw the jersey that he held up and whatnot. Yeah. And I didn't know what it was at the time, but I found out afterwards that it was a jersey that had his wife's maiden name on it because her family was here in the stands watching the game. He also changed his middle name to his wife's maiden name.
Yes.
Which is awesome. I mean, that's just such an awesome...
that's embracing.
These are the guys I want to follow and like... These are the guys I want to be able to cheer on every week.
That's really cool. That's really cool. Exactly. That's there's levels to that, and I admire that.
And just an insane time that first half, and then you get into the second half. I mean, all over the place, just so much talent across his team. Bedoya's just playing on another level, and had an insane pass into Ural for the fourth goal, which was like again. Bedoya is how old?
And he's 36.
He's getting better. He's getting better.
I gotta say this. I believe that Tom Brady broke everybody. Because Tom Brady's out here still competing in Super Bowls in his 40s, and everyone else in the country's like, I can do that. Like, I can absolutely do that. But, like, here's the thing. Like, and this is the honest goodness truth. I really didn't know what to make of Alejandro Bedoya coming here back when the team signed him. At the time, you had Maurice Adu was your captain, but he was off injured. You had Nguchi Anyewu was here. You had like a midfield of like Chris Pontius was here. It was a very veteran team. There was a lot of vets that made up that team, and there was a lot of people from the U.S. national team. Like, it was a bunch of people who were buddies. Like, outside of having Clint Dempsey, we just basically had, like, all of the dudes who hung out with each other on the U.S. national team on the Union at the same time. So I'm like, is this just a signing for friendship? Is this a signing for, maybe we can have someone who's slightly notable on a U.S. scale? So at least everyone's like, who the bleep plays for the Union? Alejandro Bedoya does. Like, I know him,
Yeah.
The man has not only taken the captain's band and truly exemplified a captain, not just put the band on for band purposes. Yep. Like, he's actually the leader of the Philadelphia Union in every sense of the word. He's playing on a best 11 level in his mid-30s in a league surrounded by people who are borderline and in some cases legitimately half of his age.
Yeah. I mean, in a young team like the Union, still, and here's a stat.
Conducting.
I know I brought up all these stats here. With
that man,
3 assists.
I'm a stat man. Don't. Okay, continue.
Bedoya, 3 assists Saturday night. He now has 10 goal contributions, 5 goals, 5 assists.
What?
This is the first time in his entire career that he's done that in a single season.
What? How? And the country, it's not like these are random tap-in goals and things. Like, he's scoring headers.
I do mean MLS career.
Still, though.
But still.
No,
yes.
of course. I know he did more, but, like, he's been here for about 5-6 years now. Like, he's not a spring chicken in MLS. The fact that he's having his best season now, but look, this is the best Union team we've ever seen, and we'll get into that more later. But we have to now make this like official. This is the best Union team we've ever seen.
And I wanted to get, and this is exactly what I wanted to get into.
Yeah,
it is.
It is.
And you look at 2020 Union.
Yeah.
What at the time was the best team we've ever seen.
But
2021, we come in. It's the best team we've ever seen.
Yeah.
2022, we come in. It's the best team we've ever seen. Yeah. We're like, what is going on here?
This doesn't happen in Philadelphia sports.
No.
All right. Let's all be honest about this. Even when we win, we don't win the next year. Like, the only time that I remember this happening was the Phillies. When the Phillies won in 2008, they ended up being stronger in 2009, ended up being stronger in 2010, and ended up being stronger in 2011. It was just, they became brolic in 2011. They did everything but win the World Series in 2011. The Union sold Brendan Aronson, sold Mark McKenzie, and got better.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, look, the logic kicks in because you know what the academy is, you know what the sporting director is, you know what Jim is as a coach, you get that. But that's a crazy sentence to say out loud. You sold people to Europe, like two stalwarts of your team that won you a supporter shield, and you got better.
We are so lucky to be. Obviously, me and you are involved with the team on another level.
Oh, yeah.
But everybody that is a part of this organization right now is so lucky to be involved with this team, because not only do I think this is the best team in Philadelphia history, but I think all of the front office staff and all of the players here at some point will have some form of hand in what happens on an American soccer level.
Oh.
I think these careers continue down the path.
Absolutely.
Obviously, the Academy of the Union is what it is, and we see that with Brendan Aronson now, where he's going to have an impact in what American soccer is on a World Cup level.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, just that
on an international club level.
And we get to see it here every week in and week out. And that part is so exciting to me. That game just like blew my mind.
Yeah.
That we get to see this. Like Jack McGlynn. Just a star being born here. Paxton Aronson didn't even play in this game. He got subbed. But
we didn't need the Golden Boot winner of the CONCACAF Championship tournament in Honduras because we're so stacked.
Yes.
We didn't even really need his contribution.
Such an exciting time to be a part of this team. Look, I'm super excited about it.
This is... And this is it. Because here's the thing about me being a capo now. It's less about me actually doing chants and me just yelling at people. Where I'm just like, do you people not understand what we're doing here today? And the one sentence I just kept saying over and over was like, this is for all of the people who went to the Open Cup finals. You know? This is for all of us who gave a bleep about this team when it was in the Dyers. Like, I remember being the Orlando team that's losing everything but in an Open Cup final by accident. You know? I remember being these people and getting my hopes up, going to piazzas, painting my face, listening and making playlists for championship games and losing all that shit. And I said, who knows what the end game of all of this is? But these moments right here, the last 2 to 3 weeks of this Union team is for the fans. It is all of our frustration, because there's not a person walking through this stadium right now who ain't happy. Just fan, employee, front office member, player, all of us springing our step.
Yes, that sense that you get at halftime when you're walking around, like that energy that is in the air is just next level.
One of my friends, Jump Philadelphia was great. One of my friends, Jesse, was like, hey, why don't we do Bohemian Rhapsody anymore? And I said, we sing it when we're losing. and we don't lose anymore. So we stopped singing Bohemian Rhapsody. And they were just like, oh, that makes sense. Like, it literally is it. Like, we haven't said, and I will remember that Bohemian Rhapsody was sang almost on a daily game basis, even if we were like tied or something, because it was just catchy, it was clever. And that was basically our makeshift version of Wonderwall at the time. But like legitimately, we adopted it and we said it is only when we are losing. And I tell you this now, I have not physically seen us lose in 2 calendar years in Chester, Pennsylvania.
You're getting lucky with those those traveling games.
The traveling games are really good. And like that's what I'm saying. Like I went to this season. I saw our first win in Yankee Stadium.
Yeah.
You know, like that's this club. It's just I get tingles. I'm right now. Getting tingles thinking about the potential of this. Like I was yelling at people, this team could win a double, and I didn't think that was ironic.
Yeah.
Like, look.
Go ahead.
We'll get deep into this. The Union are about 3 to 4 ties that should have been wins away from dominating Major League Soccer right now.
Yes.
And like that's the thing that I think people don't really, because like the ties are annoying. But it's a growing pain. We were growing into this.
Yes.
So you can see how brolic this is. Look, continue. This is insane.
No,
this is insane.
I agree 100%. I mean, it really is. And I want to bring the stats back in because
bring them back.
It's
You're
so
a stat man.
It blows me away, some of these. Daniel Gazdag has scored in 4 straight MLS matches. The first Union player to have multiple 4-game goal scoring streaks.
What are these sentences?
Mikel Ura has scored 6 goals in the last 4 matches at Subaru Park. We're the only undefeated team at home still. The Union are, and you've already said this, are the first team in history to record multiple wins by at least 6 goals in a single season, and we did it in a 2-week span.
In a 2-week span! One against a rival!
Kai Wagner right now has the most assists in MLS with 11, and he's our left back. He's our left back. So I mean,
this is FIFA shit right here. This is FIFA career mode on pro level shit right here. Like, are you like? This is why this is so like I've mentioned my fiance so much on this pod, it goes into nauseum. But I always use her as a barometer because as an Italian soccer fan, she is a barometer of what is good soccer. Like, because there's like, she's not the expert, but she knows. She knows what the game is. She knows when the game is beautiful. Mm-hmm. And I showed her the highlights of the Union playing against Houston. I showed her because the MLS stuff, the app has a lovely, if you've never seen this, the MLS app has a lovely 4-minute replay of like all the games. So if you miss the game, it'll be like, here's the best things that happen in 4 minutes.
Is this a commercial?
Maybe. I'm here for that one. MLS, give me some money. Anyway, more than the MLS. Anyway. So the thing about it was they have, like, I showed her the entire highlights, and she said right now the Union would beat most Serie B teams playing at this level.
I agree.
They would beat, like she said, this is because she's been with me for 5 years, so she's seen a huge chunk of the evolution of the Union from me just talking about the team, my attitudes around the team. Like, she remembers when I went to the Open Cup final at the Piazza when we played Houston. Mm-hmm. And now she sees this thing. And she's just like, this is, I could never have imagined American club soccer to be played this well.
Yeah.
That's where we're at now. Like, it's like, yeah, give me Vela, give me Bale, give me, Blanco and the Chara brothers and all this talent, but like, a well-oiled machine team is the sexiest thing in sports. It just is. When you just see a hive mind of 11 people who know exactly where everyone's going to be, exactly where everyone needs to go, and puts it together in the way where like The defense alone is arousing.
Yes, exactly.
Like the defense alone, the fact that you authentically believe no one's scoring more than 2 goals on us in any game.
Yeah. Glesnes is he has a hand in multiple goals this season just because of his service from the back there. I mean, it's just insane.
The MLS All-Star appearances is absolute crap. The fact that Jack Elliott is not in the MLS, All-Star game is absolute crap. The fact that Daniel Gazdag is not in the MLS All-Star game is absolute crap.
So tell me how Gazdag or Ura don't make the team of the week. It's Bedoya, Ura, and Glesnes. I'm sorry, not Ura did make it,
Carranza.
but Gazdag, Carranza.
McGlynn.
McGlynn? You're telling me McGlynn?
The team of the week was the Philadelphia Union's 11.
Yeah.
You cannot tell me anyone played better at their position than the Philadelphia Union 11.
Obviously, Houston had their chances as well. I don't want to obviously Fafa had that overturned offside goal, he was offside.
If you're offsides, though, it doesn't matter, bro. If you're offsides, you're offsides. Of course he had a great scoring chance. He was offsides, And Fafa. Biggest Fafa fan in the universe.
Yes.
Love me Fafa Pakal.
I love me some Fafa.
So happy he went to our boys at Gigio's place on Chestnut Street that I'm forgetting. Cafe de Aquila. He went there 3 different times because he loves because he can't get real Italian food in Houston. Shocker.
That's awesome.
And I'm just I love Fafa. I love he is a genuinely great human being, and I love Fafa, and I love the fact that he scored and wasn't even celebrating. He already did the peel off of I scored. I know I did, but love Fafa to death. But the Union dominated the hell out of Houston.
Yep,
they just strangleholded them, and they. When the Union don't score a lot of goals, it looks like teams are closer to us than they are. That Miami game that we won 2-1 in Miami or in Fort Lauderdale wasn't close. No. Gonzalo Higuain had a moment. Beyond that, the Union absolutely dominated 88 minutes of that game against Miami. This is a suffocating team in every sense of the word. Suffocating.
And I said it last week. It's crazy how a week's time will change your perspective on things, because last week I was saying there's no way they win the Supporters Shield this year. And I regret saying it.
Come on, I regret
saying it. And I now have a totally different perspective on this. So,
go get it. Go get it.
Comparing this to the 2020 Union, shout out to Michael Thomas, who put out this poll on Twitter.
Shout out to Mike Thomas.
Shout out to Mike Thomas all around.
He's a G.
He does do the playlist for the tailgates that everybody has heard in the past couple of weeks.
They're very good. They're very good.
Yes.
But we're going to talk about. I need to add a little more hippity hoppity.
All right. Well, we'll get there. We'll get there. 2022 versus 2020 Union. Through 23 games played, 2020, 47 points, 2022, 45.
Yeah.
So, we're only 2 points behind the Supporters Shield winning team in 2020.
And
we have only 4 goals less scored, but we have 5 less goals against. So,
we've given up 15 goals the entire season.
Yeah. 15 goals. In 23 games.
That's
and we've scored 40.
This is FIFA shit. We're doing FIFA things. This is FIFA. This is video games is what the Union are playing. Whatever setting the rest of MLS is on, the Union are on video game settings. Because that's only in a FIFA campaign do you have differentials that big, players dominating that much. This is going to be the more bizarre seasons ever, because the amount of, if the team continues to play at this level, and we're already in August, so people really don't realize we're actually coming in for a landing quite quickly.
Yep.
If this team can close out in any position, win the Supporter Shields or anything like that, the amount of accolades just thrown onto this team.
Oh my God. There's already rumors flying.
Jim has to be if Jim finishes out, he has to be coach of the year.
Yes.
If Ernest finishes out, he has to be executive of the year.
100%.
If if this team Jack Elliott might be defender of the year.
Yeah.
Gazdag might be MVP.
I think that I don't think enough people would be willing to jump off the,
well, of course, because they love the stars. Because they're sexy seduced by this. This is the reason why Wayne Rooney was coach of the week. Like, what? What? Like, look, MLS, I get you. And they also put Cavani the Italian center back for LA in the best 11 for the week. Boy played 60 minutes. Look, I get it. You're trying to promote stars in this league. You're trying to get this league to be sexy that everyone sees. Oh, Wayne Rooney was coach of the week. I get it. That ain't authentic. You can't. Jim Curtin hasn't lost a game since June. Like, we haven't tied a game since June. Like, how is he not coach of the week every damn week?
All right, so one last stat, and then we're gonna move on from this. I know we could talk about this.
I could do
all
this
night.
for the rest of the podcast.
Philadelphia Union now have the highest scoring trio in MLS. Ura, Carranza, and Gazdag have 27 goals between them. The only trio with a team that every piece has 8+ goals. So, I mean, it's just insane that the rate these guys are scoring. And now those are your guys. I mean, those are the ones you brought in to have an impact. And, I mean, you can't even argue the impact they've
Ernst
had.
Tanner has to come into every executive meeting of MLS and just say, "Excuse me, I'm running the meeting." Like, all you guys are signing dudes to $1.5 million. I am finding success at $400,000 a pop.
Just
like,
insane.
what do you need?
He doesn't get. We could say he doesn't get enough credit. I know he gets a ton of credit, but he still doesn't get enough credit.
The man said, "Bleep the draft," and was right.
Yes.
Like, the man said, "Bleep the draft," and has been proven right every single year since that moment. And, like, Elliot, Blake, draftees, and it was great. But he's like, "Look, my academy is so good. I don't need these people anymore. I don't need some dude from West Virginia who's 22 already. I got a 14-year-old in Wayne right now who's much better than him. And in 10 years, he'll be playing for America at Wembley against England in the bleeping competition." Like, can you imagine how many Union players or former Union players are going to be on the 2026 World Cup team?
It's going to be... I mean, I'm still on board with the Aronson Brothers mainstream media tour.
You realize they're both going to be on that squad. Like, you realize, like, the 2022 team is pretty much set. I get that. But the 2026 team in America is going to be flooded with people who played in Super Park.
Yeah, exactly. So, no, it's a super exciting time. We could talk about it all night. Let's look ahead here.
That's the point of the pod, I think, right?
Yeah, I guess it is. What are we here to do again?
What? Isn't it?
No, let's look ahead a little bit because we got Cincinnati coming up this week, which could be
West Philadelphia.
A little bit of a hard battle there. Just one Cincinnati note. Did you hear the Medunjanin news there?
No, I did not.
So Harris Medunjanin and FC Cincinnati are going to part ways.
That made sense.
His last game will be this weekend against the Philadelphia Union.
That's adorable.
Which is really awesome.
It's like basically a testimonial.
But yeah, he's moving back over to Europe to be closer to his family, and so his last farewell match is in Cincinnati against his old team, the Union. I mean, that's like. You can't write it much better than that.
Right.
So.
Especially when we win by 4-0. No, it's look, Harris is a part of Union history and a good part of Union history. I would like to say he was a part of the transition team. The team that kind of legitimized what we were trying to do down here in Chester had Harris Medunjanin as their center defensive mid. So I give him all of the credit in the universe. The man is a Bosnia-Herzegovina legend. He's played on international stages for his nation. And he gave us cupcakes that look like pretzels once from the Food Network. I have immense respect for the man, but once I saw that he was not in the 11 for Cincinnati, I was like, this is only a matter of time, because Cincinnati, according to all of their supporters, has big pockets. Apparently they're willing to spend the cash flow in Southwest Ohio. So, yeah, Harris is probably not in the plans of what they're trying to do in their future and to make the 30,000 fans that get a game actually happy. Because I got no problem with the Cincinnati fans.
No, not at all.
Their organization, though, kind of irks me.
I just went down to Cincinnati recently.
Right?
And Adam has heard this story probably three times because I think we've recorded this story.
We've recorded this pod. We've recorded
but
that pod.
It's never made it to the airwaves.
No, yes.
Was it? Was it on the airways last year?
No, I don't think it made it there.
I don't think it did.
Yeah.
So I went to Cincinnati. I guess it was 2 months ago now. It was a few weeks ago. Now it's a couple months.
Was it when I died, or was
Yes,
it before I died?
it was like the
or
week
when?
after you died.
The week after I died. Okay.
Great. That's a quote. Went over to Cincinnati, saw Cincinnati versus NYC. It was like a 6-4 game or something like that. It was a crazy game. And I
played no
love Cincinnati Stadium there.
Oh my God.
I love
it
the
looks
location.
So good.
I love the fans. I was out there for work, so I was out there midweek. So it was a Wednesday game. And I went out to one of the bars where the supporters groups were tailgating at. But they have like 5 or 6 supporters groups that are like scattered around that downtown area there.
Yeah.
And so I went to where the march begins at the farthest supporters group.
Yeah.
And did the full march from there all the way in. They pick up all the supporters groups on the way.
Yeah, it's like, hey guys, we're going.
Yeah. And then they do this whole march, and it was a Wednesday night, and there's hundreds of people out in the streets of Cincinnati, and I'm just blown away by all of this. They get to a park that's right next to the stadium there, where the team has set up some pregame activities and some drinks and cornhole and all that. So there's like there's a few hundred people at the park there. We pick all of them up,
right.
And now it's a Wednesday night, and there's a couple thousand people
just
marching over to the stadium. It was a really, really cool experience. I would do it all over again if I could. Their stadium's fantastic there. I wanna be a little mad at them for stealing all of our players in front office, but they've really done a great job.
They're
there.
smart, business savvy individuals. They picked up a lot of quality players from the Philadelphia Union. Ray Gaddis, I have his jersey. Powell was very serviceable for us. Sergio Santos, man, I have a genuine love for that gentleman. So it's like, they've made good choices to help build their franchise into what they want that to be eventually. It's just kind of annoying. It just continually was from our franchise. But I also believe the Union should be complimented by all of that.
Yeah.
The fact that Cincinnati said, not only do we want your sporting director in waiting, we also want your coach in waiting. And then we want 4 of your different players.
Yeah.
And we already had 2 of your players.
Yep.
Like, that is a testament to the Union organization.
Yeah, I agree.
That we are putting together such a, there was one time when Jeffrey Lurie, the owner of the Eagles, called the Eagles a gold standard organization, right? And basically, he's not wrong. Outside of the Eagles not winning the Super Bowl more times than they probably should, they're probably one of the gold standard organizations in the NFL. I believe the Union are creating that here in Chester, where it's not just, we have a really great academy that's going to produce a lot of great players, and you're going to be able to send them to Europe, but Claberson just got picked up as the assistant coach for NYCFC.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he left his job at the academy. He was actually there on the bench for the last game. But yeah, Claberson is now the assistant coach at NYCFC.
Okay.
Right? You have Noonan now as the head coach at Cincinnati. You have all of these different individuals leaving the Union nest and thriving.
And how much does that say about Jim Curtin as well? Because I think,
if Jim Curtin, if this wasn't his hometown,
he would have been.
I don't think he's here in 2 years. If the Union continued to be successful, this man is Jesse Marshing.
If they win anything this year,
he's only 43.
Yeah. If they win,
he's only 43 years old.
Let's say the Union go on and whatever, win the
double.
Or something.
They
win anything this year, and he's.
Who do you fear?
I truly believe he is gone at the end of the year if they win Supporters Shield.
Real quick digression. Who do you fear in MLS right now?
LAFC is the only.
Do you fear them, or do you believe it's a competition?
I know we play them well, but I know we haven't played their current team, and their current team.
When was the last time
they
played here, though? Like, when is the last time LA came to Chester? Because all of those games you're referencing were in LA.
That's a good question.
That's what I'm saying. When have we lost last in Chester?
Yeah, exactly.
I'm saying, who do you fear in MLS right now?
If we get first, if we can grab first seed in the East,
which we have currently.
Exactly.
Yeah, and if we can just kick New York down a couple of pegs.
Which we did this weekend. They dropped a point. They got a draw. And now they have a game in hand against us, and they have 3 points on us, but we still have the differential there.
So right now I'm streaming a game in the corner of my eye, and it is Red Bull versus Colorado. Red Bull's up 3-2 in the 40th.
All right.
Just no defense.
Interesting.
Just no defense being played in Harrison, New Jersey.
We don't need that.
But ultimately I'm saying is, and I mean this is I think It feels weird being a Philadelphian and saying it because it feels cocky, right? Like it feels to me that I'm being a cocky individual by saying, hey, who do you fear? But I'm authentically asking you the question, who do you fear in MLS? And I can't really come up with a team that I'm like, damn, the Union are going to have, this is going to be a tough game for the Union.
Yeah.
You know? Like, yeah, I believe LA will be a competition for sure. The talent level over there is off the charts. But again, they haven't come to Chester yet.
Yeah, if they're here, I feel a lot better about it.
Because here's the thing. The thing about it is, and the real crux of the LA situation is, every time we play LA, we lose that game. And it ends up being a tie.
Yeah.
It is never a situation where the Union are trying to win it.
Yeah, they're always
give it up
because
we're always ahead,
and you're on the road.
But I'm saying is
you take the draw on the road.
But we're able to go into Bank of California Stadium and say we're gonna put 3 goals up on you.
Yeah.
And we're gonna play really good defense multiple times. So I'm I told my guys at my favorite Red Bull podcast that is now deceased, the Pints and Post pod. I always told them, like, look, I told them one time, like, yeah, I think the Union are going to win MLS Cup. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I don't know why I shouldn't think that. I have that same thought right now. Like, I believe the Union should possibly win the Supporter Shield. If LA can just drop some points here and there, I can see them possibly win the Supporter Shield. And more importantly, I believe they should win MLS Cup. I don't know why I shouldn't believe that.
All right. Let's You're right.
I just don't know why I shouldn't.
But let's get into some other stuff here. Try to get back on the rails.
Rails?
I don't know where they are at this point.
So far gone.
All right. Alumni Brendan Aronson just doing his thing in Leeds. First of all, jersey number 7. You love to see it. Right. You love to see it.
Just big balls.
Yes.
Balls to come into a team and take another 7 shirt. Especially an England team. Like, one of the few countries that cares about numbers still.
Yes.
He's like, balls. And he's like, no, this is my shirt now.
Yeah.
And then he said, my balls are on the table. Like, what are you doing
And
here?
I didn't get to watch the game, but I saw the highlight that he had for the pass in to Patrick Bamford for this goal. And it was just insane. I don't know how else to describe it. It is next level. And he's playing at a Premier League level. Like,
I didn't think
this is it.
Good. I didn't think he was going to be this good. I thought he was going to be great, right? I thought Brendan Aronson was going to go to Europe. He was going to make a splash. He was going to be good. I didn't think he was going to be this good.
Yeah.
I did not truly believe Brendan Aronson would, like, look, not now. 2 to 3 years now. Is he challenging for the best American in the Premier League?
Yeah, I mean, as long as he continues playing on at the level he's playing at,
like,
absolutely.
I love Christian.
Absolutely,
I love Christian.
It also depends on what Leeds does this year and the next couple of years. But
here's the thing: I think Leeds set themselves up to at least be a mid-table team for years to come with all these moves.
Just with Brendan Aronson,
Tyler Adams too.
Oh yeah,
picking up both of those individuals was huge. And like, we didn't even talk about this for the alumni going back. Like, we talked about it a couple of weeks ago with the signing of DeVries, but I'm like, we never saw what that was exactly. Yeah. Like, we never saw Jack DeVries really thrive in a Union uniform. Yeah. That could have been amazing too. Yep. Like, the fact that Venezia picked him up, like, when Venezia picked him up, I knew for a fact there was no way he was coming home.
Oh yeah,
he was going to be there for forever.
Yeah,
it was a loan to buy.
They're going to see the potential, and that's it. Yeah.
This continue.
No,
I don't want to go back down the rabbit hole of me just feeling tingly.
I know. It's just such an exciting time for this team, for just everything all around.
We earned this.
I know. Yeah.
We deserve, like, it's such a weird way to say the word deserve this, but like, Devin, I've been with you for years now.
Yeah.
Like, we've been through all of this crap with this team, and it's just like, they were like, look, just hold on. We got thoughts. We got plans. We got things. We're developing things. Just hold on. I know it sucks, but it's going to get good. They delivered.
They delivered. All right. So let's transition away from the on the field stuff for a second so we can get to catch our breath.
Can
here.
I calm down?
Yeah, calm down a little bit. Friend of the pod, Paul Howard, and the Philadelphia Union Foundation, they opened up a little mini pitch down there in South Philly at a Capitolo Playground down there in Philly.
I'm going to need you to work on that.
I don't know. We'll work on it.
You're dealing with a future Italian.
We'll
so
work
I'm just
on
saying,
it. We'll work
don't
on it.
disrespect my future culture now.
But no, shout out to them, and the Philadelphia Union Foundation has been trying to do a lot the past couple of years, so it's good to see them have some impact down there in Philly. It's always cool to see.
Getting dubs, the Union Foundation. Shout out to Paul Howard, love that man. So
Just
getting dubs.
One other point of news here: happy birthday to Brad Utes.
So
His birthday was this past week, so shout out to founding member of the Sons of Ben,
the OG of OGs.
And I think that wraps up everything I had.
That's pretty much most of the things I had as well. We would like to say, first off, thank you to the Twitch audience.
Yes, thank you guys for coming and hanging out.
Appreciate
every Tuesday,
that.
Every Tuesday, 7 o'clock.
We will be here back at the studio. Hopefully, you'll be able to see the studio
you'll be able to
for
see
which
us
we're in next time. But love it. And, I know I digressed a lot about this, but Union fans, feel this. Feel this. You are allowed to feel good.
Yep.
I think some people. I think sometimes we need to be told that.
Yeah.
But we're allowed to feel good about this team. We are allowed to feel good about the accomplishments. We don't always have to look to the future and be like, well, what does this mean? Will it end up being the thing that I need it to be? Just, this is for all of us who sat through the bullshit. We are now seeing beautiful soccer played in a way where we run out of smoke and we forget, run out of chance, and it's just, we start doing the bleeping wave. That's where we're at now. So just look, we don't know what the next game is going to be. We don't know if injuries happen. We don't know any of this, but the last 2 weeks, really just hold on to that.
Yeah.
Hold on to that as a sports fan, because that's what it's all about. That's what we do this for. That's why we get up in the morning, or for matches like the ones we saw in the last couple of weeks. That July, that's a July for the ages. That's going to, and if we end up doing serious things at the end game of this season, we're going to look back at this July and say, this is where it began. This is when we knew we were elite. Yeah. This is when we knew we were some of the best.
Yep.
And this is when, authentically, put the league on notice.
Yep. There it is. Thank you, everybody, for coming out. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next week.
Wash your hands.